we are back and we have another grant. And this grant opportunity, y'all, it is for $35,000 of funding opportunities. One individual is going to walk away with $20,000, and another individual is going to walk away with $15,000 of free money that you do not have to pay back. And y'all, have you ever sat back and you're like, everybody's doing AI and I can't figure out how to make it work for my business? This grantor is going to do just that, educating you on AI, systems, processes, and how that can help you streamline a lot of processes and make your business essentially run on autopilot. So think about, how do I do a funnel? AI. How do I do my newsletter? AI. How do I create that engaging Facebook or Instagram post or even YouTube script? AI. So if you have a business, now the one thing they do say is your business must show in some way. So the grantor is going to determine that AI would be a benefit to your business. So if you don't know about AI, do like a little Google search, just to see what it is, how it's helping businesses, and if it can in fact help you. Also, y'all, this grantor, when we get to their site, they literally hold your hand on how to apply to their grant application to make sure that you have the most successful small business grant opportunity through their grants. Now, it says recommended. Nothing is recommended. If the grantor has taken the time to create a template to say, these are the things that we want you to discuss, these are the things that we want to see in your video, these are the things that you should have in your elevator pitch, and you decide not to follow their recommended process, templates, subject matters that should be included, you're probably not going to get the grant. Okay. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Ebony, a licensed attorney out of the state of Missouri. And on this channel, we focus on grants, legal tips, and setting a foundation for your business to get you to generational wealth. Because yes, money is good, but we want our money to serve generation after generation after generation. Check out the small business grant playlist. There are several opportunities there, y'all. Y'all be asking me, do you have a grant for this? Do you have a grant for that? I do, in the list. There are no deadline grants in there. There are no business needed grants in there. There are global opportunities. So wherever you are in the world, there is possibly a grant opportunity for you to apply for. And y'all, I'm running a special on both of my books. It is buy one, get one free. And these books will help you submit a successful grant application. So it's kind of a no-brainer if you're like, do I want to buy the book? Buy one, get the other one free. That workbook, it is 130 pages of content. It talks about if you get the grant, if you don't get the grant, applying for the grant, finding grants, there's sample answers, there's quizzes, there's fill in the blanks. There's all things to make sure that you are submitting the most successful grant application that will then get you closer to generational wealth and possibly this $20,000 grant opportunity that we are talking about. And if you're like, I don't know, fine. Go to the website, 5-star reviews. Always do your due diligence before spending your money. There will be a link in the description for that. And if you're like, I don't want to keep waiting on these videos, come on over to the Patreon. Now, I will say, in the Patreon, I only post the links, y'all. It's not going to be hand-holding. There's not no walkthroughs. I literally just post the information, and then you become Mrs. or Mr. I Spy and figure out the rest, okay? There's cohorts in there, there's scholarships, there's internships, there's articles. There are all things that's going to assist you as an entrepreneur, but then also give you intel on various grant opportunities for both for-profits and nonprofits, okay, y'all? Now, this grant opportunity, before we get into it, leave that comment. Let me know where you're watching from, city, state, and our industry, so I can possibly, no guarantee, find a grant for you in your city, state, and our industry. Okay, now this grant opportunity, we've already talked about the dollar amount. We talked about that AI is a thing, but here are some of the things that they're looking for. Now, you must attend one of their 2 webinars that's essentially telling you about the program and the things that they're looking for. You must have a strong management team. Now, grantors tend to not say this out loud in some of their applications, but this one specifically is saying, like, look, Are they industry experts? And I've mentioned in other videos, that's kind of like choosing me, the lawyer, to be your accountant. You're not going to get that grant opportunity. However, if you utilize me for legal purposes, then of course, you are going to have a strong team because I have expertise in doing business contracts and things of that nature. They also want to make sure that you have high potential for growth and you have a competitive edge. And when I think about anything about competitive edge, how are you unique? How are you innovative? How do you stand out from your competition? Okay. And then you also will have to provide a pitch deck. Now, there's a pitch deck in the Patreon. Comment there if you would like. But your pitch deck is going to be 10 to 12 slides. And it is going to talk about the problem, the solution, your market, your traction, and your team. So it's literally an overview of your business. They also want a 60-second elevator pitch. And we've talked about elevator pitches, like people like, I ain't gonna be on no elevator. You need to be able to let this grantor know who you are, why you're important, why they should invest in your business, all within 60 seconds. Attention grabbing, right? Whether I'm gonna start with, I help entrepreneurs get access to capital via grants, or I help entrepreneurs submit successful grant applications. That is going to be what I start off with because that's going to hook them in and they're going to be like, well, how does she do that? And then I'm going to give them 52 seconds of why I am amazing. And this is your opportunity to pull an emotion out of that grantor. And you need to make sure that you're always tying it back to community. And when I say tying it back to the masses, right? How are you casting a wide net within community? Because when a grantor hands over money for these small business grant opportunities, they want to make sure that that money stretches long. Okay, not just, oh, I'm going to take myself to do a marketing class or I'm going to go and do some type of conference. No, I'm going to create more programming for a community. I'm going to do market research, right, for the community to ensure that I have a stronger product. And they are looking for someone that has a unique product. Okay, now you're probably like, well, how unique do I have to be? Like, what if I'm doing clothes? It could be sustainable, it could be a multi-way, it could be convertible, it could be something that is going to differentiate you from other individuals that are currently in your market. And this says to them that you have done your market research, which then you would know what makes you unique. You must foster inclusivity and, of course, community impact, which we've already talked about. 1 to 15 employees, but guess what? You could be the one. So if you're like, it's just me, that's fine. You can be that one employee. And guess what, y'all? No minimum revenue is required. Most grantors will be like, oh, a minimum of 10,000, a minimum. You could be making $0, okay? And you are still potentially eligible to walk away with $20,000 and $15,000 for your business. Now, the questions that you have to answer. I am going to go to the website because I want you all to see all of the details that they give you for these questions. And if you were to just pull the question from what you see, you would not be answering it in the way that they want you to answer it, which is a way for them to weed out individuals that are not doing their due diligence before they apply for these small business grant opportunities. Now, the first question that you're going to have to answer is introducing yourself, telling them about your business, why did you start your business, various milestones that you think are accomplishments. I did not see a character count. I did not see a word count, but remember, y'all, I can miss stuff. So I highly recommend that you look into this on your own. But as always, be concise and impactful when telling your story. You always just have to be a good storyteller. The next question you're going to have to answer is, how will you leverage AI and how will AI grow your business? And of course, what are you going to do with the money? Again, this is a grantor wanting to make sure that you've done some type of research, because if you have no idea what AI is and how AI can help your business, then this is probably not the grant opportunity for you. But then as far as what you're going to do with that money, we always talk about drilling it all the way down to the penny, y'all. Don't just say, I'm going to use it to grow my business. I'm going to use it to scale my business. I'm going to use it to hire people. No, they want to know if you're asking for $20,000 or if you're asking for $15,000, what are you going to do? I.e., if you need to buy ink pens, if you need to buy a printer, if you need to travel, if you need to buy products, all of the things that is going to help you accelerate your business. Shoot, you might have to buy AI software that you've been wanting to buy, but you haven't been able to afford, okay? And then the last part is gonna be the elevator pitch video that we talked about, which is 60 seconds, and then your pitch deck. Now, although pitch decks are typically 10 to 12 slides, which we talked about at the beginning of the video, they only want 5 slides. So they're like, we don't even want to hear too much. So you really have to be concise. Now, please, y'all, do not go giving these people no 5-point font in order to get as much information as possible into these 5 slides. No, this is where you really have to be strategic. You have to be concise, and you kind of have to know who your audience is, which is why I recommend perusing their website and understanding who are you trying to get to give you a small business grant opportunity. Now, y'all leave that comment. Let me know where you're watching from, city, state, and our industry, so I can possibly, no guarantees, find a grant for you in your city, state, and our industry. Now, with all of that, y'all, let's look at this grant. All right, y'all. This grant opportunity is sponsored by 15% Pledge, but this is their AI Illumination Grant. And this grantor has several grant opportunities, which is why I say sign up for people's email list, all of the things, and look through their website for other opportunities. Now, we're not going to fully go through the grant application because we've already talked about the questions, but I do want you to see the information that they are providing. Now, you must be a member of their community. It's free to join. So get into the program, fill out your profile so you're able to apply for this small business grant opportunity. But then also, they're looking for companies that are minority majority. Okay, so when they say majority, that means 50.5%. So if you have a partner that is not considered a minority, you are still eligible to apply for this small business grant opportunity. Now, we've already talked about all the requirements, so we are going to just go to the application. So when you click apply now, all right, y'all. Now, here's the application. Like I said, we're not clicking through it, but here, prior to beginning your application, we recommend reviewing our tips and tricks here. Let's click here, y'all. This is why I say this is incredibly important, and most people might miss this and just go through the application. Look at all of the tips. They tell you how to respond. Summarize your professional standing. My name is blank and I am blank of blank, right? Explain your work experience. They go into incredible detail of everything that they're looking for in each piece of that application. Even when we go to the pitch deck, they talk about, okay, we only want 5 slides. Here's what you might want to do. Introduction is slide 1. Market opportunity. They break everything all the way down for you. They talk about business models, financial projections, milestones, and achievements, but all of this is going to be in those 5 slides. The financial data. They give you a template for the profit and loss statement. Now, if you go and provide something that is not on their template and then it ends up being incorrect, you're definitely not going to get this small business grant opportunity, because essentially they're like, we're handing this to you on a silver platter and you're choosing to drop it or not take it. And then once you do all of that, they have a bunch of resources. They got tips, tricks, etc. Of course, when they say, how did you hear about this grant opportunity? You're going to put my YouTube channel, Money Time with Ebony Dion ESQ, and then you're going to go back and complete your application. Once you do that, you're going to come back here, leave me a comment, let me know you did that. And of course, come back again or send me an email letting me know that you got access to either $20,000 or $15,000 and you submitted that successful grant application, and you're getting that much closer to generational wealth, y'all. But check out that ebook, check out the workbook, check out the Patreon, go to that small business grant playlist. There are several opportunities for you to fund your business. But of course, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am forever grateful for all the support that I am receiving via this YouTube channel. But of course, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me virtually. I want to thank you for supporting the channel, and wherever you are in the world, I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you all next time.